Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
They say the new millennium began the day progress was finished. A domed metropolis of the world's greatest minds, a permanent showcase of American ingenuity, built on the swamplands of Central Florida. In this self-styled city of the future, 50,000 temporary residents live, work, and occasionally die. This episode of The World of Tomorrow is brought to you by Quest for Infamy. Learn more at questforinfamy.com. And now, Murder in Progress, Chapter 1.
Thank you for using Progress Municipal Communication Systems. For an internal call, please state the name of the person or organization you wish to contact. To place an external call, please dial your number now.
Let's see here, 407-544. Yeah, that's it. Hey, Ma, it's me. Yeah, I know what time it is. Well, you told me to. I thought you wanted me to call you when I was at my new job. Well, it's a night shift, Ma. Listen, I'm here by myself now. You told me to give you a call, so I thought I'd give you a call. That's why I called. So what are you doing tonight? Oh, that makes sense. Look, Ma, someone's coming, so I've got to guard, whatever's inside the building, I guess. Tell Dad I said hi, and I'm doing great at the new job. Okay, goodbye. I'll call you back when I can. No? Okay, I won't call. Gotta go. Bye. Sure is a late night, sir. You here for work?
Yep. Well?
You need to scan your security bracelet. It's the procedure, boop, boop, double scan, once at the door, once at the desk. That's what they told me anyway.
I didn't think things getting in was the problem.
What?
Welcome, Liam Crawford, Chief Technology Officer.
Liam Crawford? Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't recognize you. You don't look like you do on television. Can I help you with something tonight, sir?
Just going up.
To your office?
No, 7th floor.
Oh, they told me... 7th floor, you said. You're sure about that, Mr. Crawford?
You gonna stop me?
Oh, of course not, sir. But don't go...
Yeah, of course not.
Thank you for using Progress Municipal Communication Systems. For an internal call...
ACIP Main Security Office. Hi, I'm at the AI building front desk. Yeah. Yes, it's Liam Crawford.
Welcome, Liam Crawford. Here at ACIP, we believe the future...
Take me to the 7th floor.
Access denied. Here at ACIP, we believe the future of intelligent...
Voice identification, Liam Crawford.
Identification confirmed. Total security clearance.
7th floor.
Access denied.
You're gonna make me do it the hard way.
Here at ACIP, we believe the future of intelligent robotics. Manual override engaged.
There we go.
Manual override going up. Here at ACIP, we believe the future of intelligent robotics lies, surprisingly, in our past. A journey we in Progress can and will all take together.
Don't look so surprised. Who'd you think they'd be sending? It's over. I want to be clear. We're not turning it off, we're just taking it off the network. This isn't just my decision. We can't justify the risk anymore. One of them got out. I don't know how that's even possible. I thought it wasn't possible, and I'm the one who's supposed to know. Look, I'm the best option here. I am the angel of mercy. I don't know why we're still standing here. The decision's made. Do you know what the other option was? They just wanted me to cut the power to the whole building. Is that what you'd prefer? Look, are you gonna cooperate, or do you want me to go over to that control panel and start pulling wires? Fine. No one wants this. You need to realize that. What are you doing? Stop it! Look, if you're ready to listen to reason, we can talk. You want me to shut it all down? Pull the plug on the damn building? Hey, I didn't think so. Hey, put that down right now. Put that down right now. Do you hear me?
It was hot that October. Of course, that wasn't really a surprise. It's always hot in Progress. Still, that month it was the sort of hot where if you took one step outside of the dome, your clothes would stick to your skin like you were being sealed in wet shrink wrap. You couldn't tell where your own sweat ended and the humidity began. I had been doing field research in the middle of the day, for which 2 stars would not recommend. I knew what I smelled like, but I had to get back to the office to drop off some files, so there wasn't a whole lot I could do about it, except to thank whatever sainted engineer decided to make the people movers open air. By the time I was halfway back to the office, my heat headache had subsided. Diminished from a front row seat to the 4th of July theme park firework extravaganza to the same extravaganza, just heard from somewhere off of International Drive. You could tell it was still there, but you didn't have to think about it as much. Well, there I was, rubbing my temples, trying to remember which watering hole might be the quickest path to liquid relief when I overheard the couple in the seat across from me saying the words Liam, Crawford, and murder in a very serious tone. Well, I didn't think too much about it until I heard another group talking in the same hushed voice, along with more colorful phrases like 7-story fall and no suspects. Riding back to the office, I overheard 5 different theories, all of them colorful, most of them sordid, and between all of them, not 2 solid pieces of evidence to rub together. What I didn't overhear was anyone too broken up about the situation. Crawford had all the popularity and progress of brain-eating amoeba in Bay Lake. In fact, if we had elections here, they'd probably be voting for the amoeba. My Uncle John and I shared an office in a startup incubator. Well, when I say sharing, I mean that he was paying, and I was also using, which is certainly a kind of sharing, more for him than me. Alyssa, my favorite secretary.
Afternoon, Tim. Less security and surveillance, how can I help you?
Alyssa, did you see my,
I'm on a call. Sorry, can you repeat that? John, you hung up on them.
You said the wrong office name again. The red phone is Timothy, the blue phone, me.
What? No, that was the blue... Oh.
How many times today?
3? 6, maybe?
Oh, Alyssa.
I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
Another $2,000 a month in rent if I get kicked out of here. $5,000 fine from the city at least, if anyone notices.
Remember, Alyssa, the blue phone is... What are we up to?
One new lead on Journey Street wants a consultation tomorrow at 10, and Mr. Morrow's check just cleared.
Oh, great. 3 more cases my way by the end of the month, and those tickets are yours.
Less security and surveillance, how can I help you?
I couldn't really fault the old man for being grumpy. The balance sheet had fallen, if not into the red, it had certainly taken on an unhealthy pinkish hue. And skimming the odd potential client only accounted for 10 to 15% of the decline, tops. The real problem, IMHO, was the inflexibility of my good uncle's business model. He was a financial transaction consultant, which means he can find a plug nickel in a 4-year balance sheet. Trouble was, about 6 months ago, Progress made the final flying leap to an officially cashless system. Fraud was down, bogus payments were down, and people who used to have their sticky hands in the till now just had them on the stockroom shelves instead. But when you have someone who finds you one kind of information, you tend to turn to them out of habit to find you all other sorts. Well, he takes an extra job or two, and that's how he became Progress's first consulting detective. This is where the pivot should have happened. But Uncle John isn't the pivoting sort. He's more of the barrel forward and to hell with the brick wall in front of you sort. He wants to stay in the financial market by scaling some plan with software. I told him it would never work. But you know what? I'm really jealous of people who can be happy with such simple dreams. I really am. I was finishing the last year of my internship at Eastern Airlines in the marketing department, and I decided I liked Progress well enough. A little bougie, maybe, but the nightlife's lit on the weekends, and I had friends here. I'd try and stick around if I could. And for that, I needed a gig. But Uncle John was very clear.
This is not a job.
But my mother called her sister, who softened him up a little, and he lets me use a desk, his secretary, and a Xerox machine. John handed me the cases he didn't want, or wasn't interested in. Plus, maybe a few he was. So what did I do? Adultery. Well, no, not me personally. Bored housewives of executives with younger men, or executives with their secretaries. I'm ashamed to admit that Progress didn't always have the wokest infidelities. My real problem is this sort of work is too easy for me. It doesn't provide the fulfillment I'm looking for. For me, there was a white whale out there, if I'm remembering English class. Corporate espionage cases. Get a reputation for solving problems with the adultery cases, and then the same executives would hand you a blank check and let you keep writing zeros until your arm got tired. That was the plan, at least. One or two of those, and I'll be out of Progress and buying one of those mansions on a lake in Winter Park.
What's that smell? Is that you, Timothy?
3/4 of a mile from the People Mover to the Fitzgerald driveway. Another half mile from the driveway to the house.
You could have just phoned.
Could have just phoned. TBH, I'm not sure you're cut out for this, Uncle John. You can't get information like this over the phone. Okay, I talked to the maid, I talked to the gardener, I talked to the one with the apron in the kitchen.
The cook?
Probably, I didn't ask.
What was all this for?
The Fitzgerald case, obviously. Remember, the husband wants to know if the wife is cheating on him?
Oh, that's right. Well, you can cool it on that for a few days.
What? Why?
Well, Mrs. Fitzgerald just retained my services. Thinks Mr. Fitzgerald is screwing around.
Well, I am shook.
Yeah, and I miss dealing with decimal points.
So, Uncle John, you turned on the news today, right?
Yeah, I heard. My chime's been going off for the last hour. So are you going to take a shower now, or...?
The first murder in the history of Progress, and he's your ex-boss, right?
Well, first of all, the first murder was 2 years after Progress opened. It was a tourist who killed his girlfriend.
Bruh, that is not the same thing.
Well, now the second was in '83, I think, but they only charged for manslaughter.
So, not a murder.
Oh, there were a couple others. Fine. If this has to be the first, yes, this is the first murder of a citizen in Progress.
Not just a citizen. The Liam Crawford, and your ex-boss.
Second of all, he was my boss's boss.
Yeah, but you knew him.
Of course I knew him. Progress Evening Chime called asking for an interview.
Well, what happened?
Well, they probably got confused when they kept getting connected with a completely unrelated surveillance company.
I'm going to ignore that. So what'd you tell them?
I told them to jump out of a sky bucket. What do you think I told them? I don't know why they wanted to talk to me.
Well, who else are they gonna get? The guys who work for Crawford usually sign an NDA as long as your arm.
That's not actually a very long contract.
But it has very small font. Everyone knows Crawford is, protective of his image. That's why they never aired that episode of Mysteries of Progress.
Oh, that was a stupid show.
That's why I would never get a job at Astute Computing.
Oh, yeah, that's the reason, all right.
No one leaves Liam Crawford. No one who stays in Progress.
Well, here's to 8 years.
12.
Really? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Still, they could have found someone else. No one in Progress is crying over Crawford. Everyone thought he was an asshole. Genius maybe, but definitely an asshole.
Yeah, no one's crying except Astute's shareholders. And it was in one of their buildings?
All right, I've got work to do, Timothy.
But it was, right?
It was in the AI building. To answer your next question, not the one I worked in.
That's not what I was going to ask.
Oh, in that case, it stands for artificial intelligence.
I can't even. Are they calling in Orange County Sheriff on this, or is security taking a crack at it first? You're probably on the suspect list, at least the long-form version, Uncle John. You know, come to think of it, where were you last night?
Oh, don't start. Besides, they already got her.
Got who?
The killer.
What?
They haven't released it yet. The prime suspect is the term they're using. Female, late 20s. I've been chiming with Rick at the security office. They have the lab records. Crawford was alone with an employee at the time. The employee left last night and they found Crawford's body when someone checked the lab in the morning. They just have to find her.
Huh. Where's Rick now?
I think he's still at the Astute AI building where it happened. Why? Oh, where are you going?
It's on my way.
It is not on your way.
I've got to drop off the photographs from the Fitzgerald case at the Kodak booth anyway. It's just a couple blocks.
They're not letting you in.
Rick loves me.
Rick asked you about one case over a beer, and you think you can walk into an active crime scene? And not just a crime scene, a murder scene?
Oh, I'll find a way. I've got clearance to do surveillance field tests on any active Progress security site. Besides, I'll be in, out, they'll never know I was there.
Trust me, they'll smell you. Ah, listen, oh child of my sister-in-law's. Now, far be it from me to dissuade you from getting yourself arrested. After all, the result would be that, well, I'd get your desk out of my corner, your horrible bitter coffee out of my coffee pot, and you out of my office. But if you do, and you get your one phone call, please, anywhere else.
This episode is sponsored by Quest for Infamy. Adventure and mystery await you in the games from Infamous Quests. An ode to old-school point-and-click adventure games, Quest for Infamy is a role-playing adventure game where you're Mr. Roam, an outlaw on the run. 3 different paths await your choices as you get yourself out of scrapes. Visit questforinfamy.com for more information and to download today. And now we return to Murder in Progress, Chapter 1.
I hopped the monorail line from the city center to the industrial park where the Astute Technology Pavilion is. I was going to head back to my apartment first, but I was worried if what John said was true, they'd have the whole thing wrapped up before I got a chance to see what was going on. Besides, the condition the monorails were in, if anything, was making them smell better. 3 stops later, I stepped off the monorail and looked down at the Astute Technology Pavilion from the platform above. From where the small crowd was, it looked like the murder had taken place in the AI building, which I think was what John said. I don't really remember. It was a black glass building. I counted 7 stories. There was a large sign with the acronym ACIP on the side of it in large sans serif letters. You've never seen serif so bold and sans as the one in progress. Future typographers will be studying them in the coming centuries once the technology is lost to the ages. The only place you could see in the building was the atrium lobby, which ran up the side. There was a 7-story waterfall inside, with some people in police uniforms, policemen I assume, waiting in the pool at the bottom. I was in luck. My best shot at getting in was Rick. He was standing outside doing guard duty in front of the ACIP building for the couple dozen people who were paying their last mournful respects to Liam Crawford. Either that, or they wanted to see the place where someone was finally brave enough to take care of the SOB. I pulled out my chime and sent Rick a message. New message to Rick. Look up. Send. Rick turned around to look at the silver spire on top of the Exxon Pavilion. New message to Rick. Monorail platform. Send. He started turning his head towards me, but then someone else distracted him. Some resident was asking a question. I don't know why I was being so terse. The chimes didn't charge by the word. New message to Rick. Look at me, waving to you frantically on the monorail platform. I'm standing here, waving. Look at me! Send. Finally, I caught his eye. It was hard to see from that far away, but I think his face fell from what I can only assume was excitement. I walked down from the platform to see what I could find out.
I gotta deal with every gawking resident on their day off, wanting to see what real police tape looks like. And now you too?
Rick, you don't sound as happy to see me as I would have thought. Well, excuse me. I'm just going to...
Welcome Timothy E. Less, surveillance consultant or progress
come on,
security.
Tim. I'm not letting you in.
I thought we were friends.
First, I'm friends with your boss.
Well, lucky for you, he's not technically my boss. Landlord, maybe. Office manager. He basically works for me.
Second, because it's literally my job. They put me here to make sure that people did not come in.
I'm hardly people, Rick. Besides, the
You are
computer
certainly
just said...
people. Were I to go ask Chief Maxian for a general description of the type of person not to let in, it would look distinctively Timothy Lessish.
I'm shook, Rick. TBH, I always thought of us more as colleagues, partners even. But here we are. Me, mere imperial feat from finding the inevitable clue which will bring the villain, or villainess, to justice. And you. Standing outside, in the sun, like a guard at a county fair or something. Do county fairs have guards? Anyway, letting other members of your team do the real detective work.
What are you talking about? Progress Security got pulled off this as soon as someone took the pulse.
Oh, really?
Not that I'm confirming anything.
I've got 2 eyes, Rick. Also, everyone can see in the window. Who's in there now? County Sheriff's Office?
Yeah, but they're only sending in a small team to the 4th floor.
4th floor?
Yeah, that's where the murder happened. I really can't talk about it. But they're being escorted around by astute employees.
You're kidding.
Look, I'm really not supposed to... the computer says you have clearance.
You heard the machine yourself. I am technically allowed on the crime scene.
Technically. Well, they can't fault me for technically. Come on in and see the lobby.
Rick was a perfectly fine cop, as far as Progress Security goes. If he had a fault, I'd say it was that he liked to talk. That worked out well for me, because, unlike John it seems, I'd like to hear what he had to say. And if he's going to talk to someone about the goings-on of Progress Security, it should be to someone who could keep a secret. As far as I'm concerned, I'm doing the city a service.
PS is dealing with things down here in the lobby. County Sheriff's Office is up on the 4th floor. So Crawford came in here, past the security desk over there, then went up in the elevator. Over there at the desk there was a guard on duty.
I looked at the desk. It was empty except for a round bubble-looking computer and a Astute logo on the side. It was faint, but standing next to it, you could hear its hard drive clicking. Where's the guard?
Still being questioned, I think. You see that balcony?
Yeah?
That's where they think he fell from.
They think? There's 8 security cameras. Didn't they see what happened?
Listen, I'm just telling you what I know.
So, that waterfall there. I thought Astute's colors were green and white. Why's the water purple?
See those rocks at the bottom? That's where Crawford fell. And they dye the water blue.
Oh. I reached into my bag and pulled out a circle scope. Nifty little device. It was about the size and weight of a softball, a dull chrome finish with a flat bottom and a propeller coming out of the round end. Press a button on the side and it flies up and takes a single snapshot of the room. If you know how to develop them, you can create a 3-dimensional walkthrough. If I ever did sell a product, that would be it. Trouble was, I didn't invent them. Rick, tell me, which is usually better to ask for, forgiveness or permission?
What? Tim!
Hey, heads up over there!
Ow! Excuse me.
I said heads up.
Excuse me, who are you and what exactly is this?
Okay. First one, Timothy Less. I'm an independent surveillance consultant, and I have standing permission to
Fine. What is this thing you just used?
It's what I said. It's a 3D photograph system. Oh, sorry, I should have yelled out the warning first before activating it, I suppose.
Yes, in the future, and I'm very surprised I have to say this. Please don't throw things in a crime scene.
Sorry.
Write your name on the sheet. The county wants its own record of everyone at the scene. You all don't have physical ID, do you?
We scanned in. The system let him in.
A lot of good that does me down in the county office. Okay, Mr. Less, you can stay, but I'm going to hold on to this.
Whoa, wait a minute now. You have no idea how to develop the image on that.
I think we'll figure out exactly what to do with it. Sheriff's office doesn't want photos leaking to the press.
Oh, well, you might want to put a tarp over that 7-story window then.
Tim.
A curtain or something.
We always appreciate suggestions from civilians.
He seems delightful. So why aren't they all swarming up the 4th floor? He didn't fall from down here.
They're terrified to go up there. Bump one wrong button in there and you fried half the computers in progress. They're sending them in 3 at a time because Astute can babysit them that way.
Only to the 4th floor?
What?
I don't know. If I wanted to kill someone, I think I'd try to get him a little higher, wouldn't you?
He landed on the rocks.
I guess that's lucky.
Not for him. They pulled the body out of the pond a few hours ago. They're doing an autopsy now. Any other evidence has already gone through the pump, I'd guess. Look up there.
Yeah?
You see that woman up there? Dark hair with a tan suit? That's Julia Io. She's in charge of Astute's AI program.
She looks a little fierce.
Well, she lost her boss and is being forced to give tours of her secret facility to small groups of policemen. So not her crowning achievement.
How old is she? She looks really young. Well, for an executive.
Shit, she's looking at us.
Hey! Hey, who are you?
What? You talking to us?
The guy next to you.
Who?
The one guy in a room full of policemen without a badge or a gun.
He's an outside consultant!
Get him scanned in. And stay on the 1st floor. We don't need an IBM spy wandering around our labs.
Excuse me. You're the outside consultant?
Yeah?
You need to scan in.
I scanned in. I signed in. Also, I'm in.
That was for Progress Security, and that was for the county. This is for Astute Computing.
You've got to be kidding me.
Tim, just do the scan.
Timothy E. Less.
And just a moment, hold out your finger.
Ow!
That was the blood draw.
Why didn't you warn me?
We find we get better compliance that way. Thank you.
This is turning into a cluster.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I've told you the same thing again and again and again. That's all I'm saying.
Here we go. I knew they were pushing him too hard.
I told you what happened. I didn't know him. I saw him once. He went up in his elevator, and then I heard a noise in the pond. That's it. I don't know why you keep asking me over and over and over again.
Hey, buddy, can you calm down for a second?
Look, we'll take it from here. We need you to go over just a couple more details before we release you. I promise we'll have you out of here as soon as you...
I didn't do it!
No one's saying that you did.
Hey, don't I get a phone call? I get a phone call, right? I need to call my mother. She'll be worried sick that I haven't called.
Just a few more questions.
I'm not talking to you anymore, you hear me?
Will you talk to me? Friend? Pal? Compadre?
Tim, what are you doing?
Hey. You with the sheriff's office?
No, I'm not with them.
Progress Security with them?
Nope.
Why should I talk to you then?
I'm just trying to figure this thing out. You know, clear people's names. Have you had lunch?
I haven't even had breakfast.
We brought you 3 donuts.
Look, there's an automat on the other side of the lobby. I'll buy you lunch. You tell the story one more time, Orange County's finest here gets to ask a couple more of their questions, and then you get to go home to your mother.
Oh no, I don't live with her. She's up in Winter Garden. She just worries if I don't call.
Of course she does. You know, there's a video phone booth over there. Just go give her a call first. Do you have a calling card?
No?
No problem. Here, take mine.
Aw, thanks.
I suppose you expect me to thank you for that.
Hey, you wanted your questions answered, right?
Yeah. And what are you getting?
Oh, I don't know. Probably a ham sandwich if they have one. IMO, the security guard story, it wasn't worth the $5.50 I paid for his tuna salad, chips, and cookie. And I had to settle for the turkey avocado and a quinoa sourdough, which always sounds good, until you remember what people in Florida who are looking to save a buck think counts as an avocado. I was going to have to cast a pretty wide net here if I was going to find out anything. See if any evidence fishes would swim in. Make sure that we don't catch any red herring dolphins. Wait, no. I guess herrings are the fish. So maybe the dolphins are evidence dolphins? Okay, I guess I'm looking to net evidence dolphins. I wondered if I could learn anything on the tour. Astute's AI labs offer daily public tours, just like every other company. It was one of those things only visitors did, like going on the swamp ride or eating at the space restaurant. My girlfriend Annie guided live tours at Landkeeper Agro in the hydroponics lab. She always had a good story about a guest who wouldn't shut up about some new breed of tomato, or some story about killer bees that he had half read on the Chime, or I don't know, whatever they have outside of Progress instead of Chimes. I dropped the photos off at the Kodak booth and walked back up to the monorail platform. Play.
New message from Annie. Where are you?
New chime to Annie. Headed back to my office bay. Send.
New message from Annie. Meet me there. Something's wrong.
This episode of World of Tomorrow was written and directed by Benjamin Lancaster. Tim Less is voiced by Brian Ballance. The security guard is Bill Meeks, and Liam Crawford is Jerry Skids. The voice of ACIP is Ron Schneider. Kathryn Jenkins is Alyssa, and Uncle John is played by Jeff Evans. Rick is played by John Saccheri. The evidence officer is Barry Wallace. The ACIP lackey is Teresa Hugh, and the Orange County deputy is Jake Ramos. Julie Io is Jenna Browne. The chime voice is Jaclyn Thomas. Music by Trash Chan, Joter Zita. Associate producer Naomi Addison. Creator, producer, and showrunner Benjamin Lancaster. If you want us to make more of these, go to iTunes and give us a
5-chime review.
And support our sponsors, like this week's sponsor, Quest for Infamy. The World of Tomorrow is copyright 2020, Just a Head in a Jar, LLC.